Well, I've been doing some research into my family ancestry and stuff like that. It always makes me happy when I run into a new kid and I talk to them and they are right on the same page with me with thinking coincidences are a miracle and a sign that life is wonderful, rather than just dismissing everything for happening for a reason or something. However, after examining my family history here, it turns out I was wrong about a few things. And so I'd like to apologize to Roanoke College for being inbred white trash that has inappropriate sexual rituals and is mean to children. And that's why they can't reproduce. That is still accurate. But I found out why you're all about my nuts so much. And it turns out I am a descendant from Kennedys. And so it would be appropriate for me to marry into whatever. However, it's not just me. There is another obvious, clear solution. Jack McCabe for presidency 2020. And I'm not even joking, you guys. Think about it. He looks like Brandon. And he is on my family tree with Orlando Figueroa. Makes perfect sense. We're the best looking people at NASA. And usually that goes hand in hand with being the most competent in royalty. So I need Jack to get his hands on a Union Bible by the electrical people. We are in it. And we're like prophecies in it. Only we don't know that weird nerd stuff because you studied medicine and I studied pediatrics and blah, blah, blah. But we ended up in the right place. Why? Because we're awesome. And so anytime you and I ever have a tiff in the future, I think it can be settled by you wearing a brown cardigan with leather patch elbows and giving me a Werther's Original. Apparently, you are not only my grandfather on my family tree, you are also my grandson. And I kind of love that because that means I am so dedicated to myself and making things work and my responsibility, which is God, dirt, and aerospace. It's not because I worked really hard and earned these things and was dedicated and did a really great job. It's because I procreated with myself over and over and over again and came right back to the same place to take on the next thing. And so somewhere back in there, I knew something. And it just clicked when it needed to, but clearly not before. So, people frown upon having sex with minors, dating your sister, having children with your grandchildren. But now I'm here, and I've got a family tree to prove it now. And it's the same people over and over again. And so we are fucking awesome. And it makes sense too, when you really, really stop and think about it. I'm the only one that got a footprint pin from Kennedy Space Center. You sent me to Foundations. It's in Orlando. The Discovery landed on my birthday. I mean, we're just, but they won't give me one of those Bibles. I don't know why. See if you can get one. I bet you they'll give you one though. And then they told me that when I read books, my nipples get all hard and turned on, and when I work on electronics. But when I talk to men, they don't. This is what undercover people have told me. And I'm like, whatever. And so that really annoys them. And I can't get the book. So I'm going to need you to get it for us. And then we'll figure out, how did we forget who we are again? Yeah, clearly. Oh. And so it's not just my inheritance. And I'm sorry you had to grow up in Maryland, and I've been all over and stuff like that. But I'm going to have to say, trump card. You gave it your best shot. And you didn't do anything wrong. I'm taking full responsibility. And you didn't have to get yourself impeached, though, just to play mafia games and bewitched games and show off. You're still not off the hook. You still are going to have to build me that pyramid. But I'm going to have to demote you temporarily to vice president and something else. But I can't say that on public TV. Jack is going to have to take over as president of the United States. And he's not going to agree to any of that stuff to get him in there. That's dishonest. So he's going to have to go with, Kennedy's thing, which is we are not willing to buy a single vote more than is necessary, okay? And then I don't want him to know anything about it. I just want him to look really good, and he will too. He's Kennedy material, right? And then you and I can go build our pyramids and do some other stuff, because it turns out we are also related to a lot of people in like New Jersey and other random things. But this was just too funny because hi, my name is Ken Newton. Not only is Jack McCabe my grandfather, but he's also my grandson. Keep him in the aerospace industry and vote for him for president. I highly endorse this. So, yeah, dude, you know what you need to do? Focus on Max. He needs some guidance. He's only been, in the system once, He hasn't reincarnated into any of us more than once that I'm aware of. Oh, here's something too. So I go over to Juno Games because my my godson, Noah Leon, happens to name his kitten Juno. So I go over there and I meet this girl, Melina, right? I think, oh, that's weird. Okay. And I go, hey, what are you doing here? You hang out with the boys and play weird games in the basement? She's like, no, I just collect them and stuff. And I was like, interesting. I was like, I think I'm your angel. I'm one of your angels. I think you are one too. So I just stopped by. Does that click with you? She goes, maybe. Why? I go, I know someone named Melina. She goes, what do you know about it? She goes, well, there was a Melanie, there was a Melissa, and now there's me and Melina. It's in some Greek book. But it has something to do with my grandfather and my family, and I'm not really sure. But it's kind of, I don't understand. I go, oh, I think I do. I think you might be third generation angel. And so you should go home and ask and figure that all out and read that book, okay? She goes, okay. And since then, I've heard from her, and she did, and then they were ready for her, and she was excited, and she's been helping my kids, and like purpose in life, And so, yes, way to go. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. And so I also do know that Melanie is the name of the Barbie that gets trapped in the mirror world, and they have to go to the Crystal Palace and do a bunch of weird things to get her out. And coincidentally, I've encountered that with the Moffats in their backyard. So I feel like that is a major accomplishment today. And what else? River's got some death stats that I've been ignoring for a long time, but I handled those today. And I'm also going to say the proposals to put emergency cut-throughs on the train tracks need to go through. I don't know who denied them and who proposed them, and I don't know what the situation is right here, but I do know this is part of like a monopoly, the Reading Railroad, and I do know this is vampire and wolf domination area, and I do know if something doesn't happen soon, the typical pattern in other cities is that people start having weird suicides and drunken blah, 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 blah there, and accidents and blah, blah, blah. And the kids in the area have already asked me to go down and do something about it. And the last time I went to go down and do something about it, the state troopers drove by, and I felt good, secure, and then something happened, and all the emergency vehicles went in the opposite direction, and I thought, I'm not going to check it out right now. I'll ask around. And coinky-dink, people have been asking for that, and it's denied. So make it happen, because if you don't, I'll have this documentation, and I already have someone over in that union building just kind of hanging out in the duct system, and I can get anything I want. So just make it happen, do the right thing, okay? Nice talking to everybody. Jack McCabe for presidency 2020.